Okay, you win. I watched K-pop Demon Hunters. And it was honestly pretty good. I definitely don't feel like I'm the target age demographic for this, but once I got into it, I was on board. I basically had enough people in my personal life mentioning it to me, so I figured, why not? If an adult friend can recommend it, and then my other friend with 2 daughters recommend it hard enough that one of the kids got her hair done to look like the main character in the movie, I figured I should give it a go. So the basics of K-pop Demon Hunters is that basically through the ages, people have basically protected Earth with their voices from demons. They make this thing called the Han Moon, and it protects you from the underworld demons from coming up. But now, this current run of hunters named Huntrix, there might be some stuff going on behind the scenes. And yes, that is the shtick. Their voice is what pulls the souls of humanity together to strengthen Earth enough to keep the demons down. And there's genuinely some really fun moments in this. The animation is really solid. It's by Sony Animations, who really tend to just do a great job with what they choose to do between this, the Spider-Verse movies, and the Mitchells versus the Machines. The directors even said a lot of their initial plans felt very similar to Spider-Verse, so they purposely worked to make different choices for themselves, using K-dramas and high-concept music videos as visual references over the comic book Spider-Verse would have. So there's clearly a lot of love and care put into this movie. It's not just the run-of-the-mill slop that Netflix can put out there sometimes to get the attention of children. I'm sorry, did anyone hear the electric state being screamed in the background? No, I'm not someone who really listens to K-pop. I don't have anything against it. I just never really got into it. But the music in this is actually really solid, and that is literally half the battle if your movie is so essentially relying on music. So proud to say they absolutely deliver there. Might not be your style, but it is well-written music. The voice acting is also really good on top of the really good singing voices. The script is fun. It's a bit basic in areas, but it has a solid message, and again, so many movies aimed at kids and preteens are just the absolute worst, so it's great to have this one resonating with so many people and age groups, and actually having what I would consider to be a solid life lesson at the end. Now, of course, being K-pop stars, they are absolutely dressed to the nine, always looking their best. And while I could never be an idol, I can still try to look my idol best with today's sponsor, Kitsch. So I got sick a year and a half ago and it kinda wrecked my hair, but Kitsch is helping me bring it back to life with their excellent line of hair care. I've been swapping between using their rosemary and biotin bars to help with volume and strength, and their rice water protein bars to help with growth and balanced moisture. And yes, I said bars. Kitsch comes in bar form that lathers right up in the shower. Pair it with the scalp exfoliator, and you'll be in hair heaven. Each bar is under $11 with my discount, or under $21 for the shampoo and conditioner combo. And as someone who travels a lot, I really love the bar form because it's just so easy to break off a chunk and just chuck it in my bag, so I'm not taking up a bunch of unnecessary space with more liquids. I've also been trying out a bunch of new goodies, they have this hair and scalp oil that has rosemary and biotin, so it helps promote growth. A heat protection mist, which is essential for these thin strands. And for those baby hairs that just won't stick down, they have this hair wax stick to keep everything in line. And just a bunch of other accessories to make your routine easier. I'm a big fan of the self-draining dish and the bar bags that help you get a nice thick lather and preserve the bars. There's a sea salt spray to get those beach waves, a detangle comb, hair perfume, silk pillowcases. Kitsch really does have something for everyone's needs. So if you want to try out some new hair care for yourself and save 25% off your order, make sure to click my link in the description down below, and that discount will auto-apply at checkout. Okay, so let's dive into the spoilers and get a little bit deeper on that setup for you guys. As mentioned, this is a world where demons are passing over into Earth to steal the souls of humans and channel that energy back to their king, Kima, so he can gain enough power to take over the world. But thankfully, Earth has its defenders. Every generation ends up with a trio of musicians that link the souls of humanity to strengthen a barrier known as the Han Moon to keep the demons away from Earth. So kinda has a bit of a vibe of the Slayers in Buffy. And its current iteration is known as Huntrix, a K-pop idol group that's close to actually sealing the Han Moon permanently. And honestly, with the dedication that people have to K-pop, it would not surprise me if there was some kind of supernatural element going on there. But Huntrix is made up of 3 girls that we get introduced to in a very mean girl way, which is just the fans talking about their accolades. Mira, the edgy one. Zoey, the rapper who grew up in California.
She grew up in America.
That new girl moved here from Africa.
And Roomie, the strongest voice of the 3. I guess her mom died when she was a kid, and her guardian, Celine, actually built Huntrix around her. That's the character that my friend's kid has her hair done and I think that is just so cute. When I was a kid, the anime hairstyles were not attainable. But we're picking up on the final day of their massive world tour, and we get a taste of the demon fighting ability, and I wasn't immediately on board, I will be honest, with the singing to defeat the evil side of things, but it does grow on you once the vibe settles in. Because it's not like they're just fighting them, they're singing, and then they're also attacking with weapons at the same time. But I gotta say, the fight feels really fresh and unique. It's fun and a bit silly at times while being cool as they head right into the concert. At times around here, it has a little bit of a Scott Pilgrim feel, and that's one of my favorite movies. And it's at this concert where it's revealed that the general public does not know that these demons are a thing they're being protected from, which I guess makes sense. But after the concert, and I gotta say, the trio here does also have some Josie and the Pussycats vibes if you've seen that movie. But we get a glimpse of the underworld, which has a real piglins returning to the netherworld and whatever Bowser's place was in Mario vibe. Which is where we're introduced to the handsome demon Juny, who has an excellent plan to basically try and corrupt the souls of humanity for themselves to destroy the Han Moon, aka creating a boy idol group. The only thing that can defeat the ladies, thirst trapping. So you might be wondering why this demon who has less fear of Kima and more disdain towards him is also providing him with this expert plan. Well, apparently this demon overlord tortures him and pretty well all the demons with their worst memories and shame, flooding their head with the voices and memories of the people they lost or betrayed. But other than the plans for the boy band, Juny also has a giant tiger cat thing, and that's just cool as hell. Why does he get a pet? Do we get to know why he has a cool pet? You can't just be giving the bad guys cute things, because I'm gonna start rooting for them. Anyways, back on the other side of things, Rumi is instantly trying to get the girls back off their break to launch and promote a new song, because she's just so hellbent on completing the Han Moon, but there's a slight problem. She starts to lose her voice, which is when they reveal that her body's actually covered in those demon marks, because apparently she's half demon and that side might be starting to take over a little bit more. Dad was a demon, mom was a hunter.
Bit of a nasty shock for him when he found out.
I feel like they may have implied that there's a bit more nefarious actions going on there in her creation, but they do not go into detail. So yeah, she's just completely dedicated to turning the Han Moon gold, so it completely seals off the underworld and she'll just get to be human. And no one else knows this about her because Celine, the one who had to put the band together and has been taking care of her, is positive that no one else would understand, so this is just her secret shame. Which is of course when the boy band comes in. And yeah, we got full-on idol thirst traps here. Even the hunters aren't immune to their charms and abs. But the second they start singing, the girls realize what they are and what they're doing. They actively have to sit by and watch as demons are converting the souls of their fans. And sadly, it's way too public to try to kill them here, and anytime they try after that, the demons are just ready for it.
Please welcome Huntrix!
Until they do manage to get into a fight, and Juny realizes that Rumi is at least somewhat demon and conceals it for her. Chivalry? Either way, that fight's a total bust, and the effects of the boy band, the Saja Boys, is already starting to damage the Han Moon. They're getting a bunch of different tears, and demons are actually managing to slip through and nab souls. So the only chance they feel like they have to beat them is by winning the Idol Awards. Which is right about when Juny tries to set up a little meeting with Rumi, under the guise of offering her help with her demon shame, but really it's so he can use it to manipulate her. And he sends that meetup invitation with this demon tiger thing, who I love. He keeps on trying to pick up the little planter he knocked over. Look, I know he's on the bad guy's side, but I'd die for him. He's innocent. While Juny's trying to suss out her shame, he also gives up the information that Kima manages to control all these demons so well because he's constantly projecting their fear and shame back on them. For Juny, Kima approached him 400 years ago and offered him a deal that he took to provide for a starving family before ultimately becoming a demon, leaving his family worse off than before. And now he's just tortured by the memories and voices of them, and the marks are a constant reminder of that shame. A shame that Rumi also feels from those same marks for very different reasons. Which makes sense, her entire life is dedicated to eradicating this thing that she technically also is. It's very blade-coded. They're really not buddy-buddy here though, and everything that they try to do to bolster up the fan support, the Saja Boys end up crashing. The two of them start bickering back and forth at a signing. She thinks it's pathetic that he's doing the work of an evil overlord that destroyed his family and just like condemning all of humanity to have some voices removed from his head when he could just do so much more by focusing on the people that are right in front of him that clearly love him and appreciate him.
Maybe listen to those voices instead of the ones in your head.
Someone even gives him fan art that says he has a beautiful soul, something his shame won't even let him accept. But of course, their bickering back and forth means the internet starts shipping them as a couple even harder.
The internet loves this, and the internet is never wrong.
There's some real nuggets of charm in here. But yeah, it is always very weird when people ship real people as couples, but that's fine. After that, she tries to keep her distance, but he keeps trying to invite her out for meetings until Mira comes in one night to talk about the diss song they've been working on about the Saja Boys, which is going to tie into Rumi's shame. The whole thing is a major attack on their character, but also specifically pointing out that they are soulless, how they all deserve to die and be sent back to the underworld, which obviously affects Rumi emotionally because she can't tell anybody that she is technically a little bit on that side too. And all it's doing is really leading to more tension because Mira can tell that Rumi's hiding something, she doesn't feel like she can share it, and that's just adding to the weird vibes of the trio. I gotta say that while this is happening, the tiger who came with the invitation starts like disappearing into the ground, but then notice that she knocked over her trash can and the eyes go so wide. At first I thought it was because he was just gonna be obsessive with putting it back upright like he was with the planter, but then I realized that the lyrics to the diss track were in there, so I thought he was gonna like nab them to use against her, but no, I was right the first time. He just wanted to put the trash can back in place. Innocent. And then we get the explanation for why the bird has a little hat.
I made it for the tiger, but the bird keeps taking it.
Damn it, they got me. I'm a stan now. But through all the confusion, Huntrix losing their fans to the Saja Boys and more demons hitting Earth, Rumi does agree to meet up with him and tries to encourage him to help them win the Idol Award so they can seal off the underworld for good, which would secure his freedom on Earth because she's positive that he can be redeemed. Ooh, we got some romance in the air. Let's see if we get betrayal too. But yeah, she's finally realizing that it wasn't specifically being a demon that was taking her voice. It was the shame she felt towards being part demon that was taking that one thing she loved so much. And Juny's helping bring it back to her. The two of them even start singing together, and it's enough to block out Guillemot's voice from his head so he might actually be able to do good and escape this prison he's been in. Until Guillemot obviously realizes that he's losing hold on Juny and bops him right back down to the underworld and reveals to us the full nature of Juny's shame, that he actually betrayed his own family to thrive. And if he bails on the plan, Guillemot's just gonna make their voices all the louder. And yeah, that sucks. That's really sad. But while it's happening, the cat is hop flying Rumi home. He's just perfect. Is there a plushie of this guy? Okay, I just got so excited that I broke my other microphone, but oh my god, there's one in the Netflix store, but it's sold out. Oh my god, there's a better one on Etsy. Look at his little tongue. His name is Derpy. Oh my god.
You're my honey bun, sugar plum, pumpkin. You're my sweetie pie.
I'm sorry, what were we doing again? Oh yes, time for the Idol Awards. Now before this, there's obviously more moments of the three of them kind of dealing with their issues, Mira being more confused about Rumi's behavior, Zoey kind of getting on board with it too, but the three of them end up deciding to sing Golden instead of the diss track because they feel like it'll be a better way to bring their fans together, which makes sense to me. You know, you want to sing the song that's about overcoming your insecurities and all the things that you feel have been holding you back, and it's definitely going to bring the fans together more than this angry diss track about people being soulless. But the big concern about this is that she wasn't able to hit the high note before, but thankfully she hits it no problem at all. Juny actually did seem to give her that power back, and the Han Moon is starting to turn gold already, even after all of the things that were destroying it. Until the other girls noticed their manager Bobby being drug away, except it wasn't actually Bobby, it was a demon, because this was a trap so they could send demon versions of Mira and Zoey on the stage to attack Rumi and then reveal her demon marks to the world. Oh my god, did Juny have demon hipster chicks? This is like Scott Pilgrim. Now the marks obviously don't mean anything to the fans, but they did just see three girls that they thought were this solid, friendly unit of like female empowerment now tearing one another down, so that started removing any of the good affection they had towards them. But then the real Zoey and Mira see the marks and then they turn on her. Wow, fake friends out here. You'd think that like the length of their friendship would earn her a little bit of time to explain herself. But no, they're just whipping out their weapons already. So yeah, that's the betrayal out of Juny. He just used all of her biggest insecurities against her to the point that it's now spread those marks to her face. And of course he betrayed her. He betrayed his own family for a more comfortable life. And just like that, the Han Moon is broken. Thoughts of shame and isolation start to intrude into everyone's minds, pulling them all into the same pit of despair where only the Saja Boys are being offered as a solution. And I really love the way they show the demons preying on people's weaknesses and insecurities, because it feels a lot like how extremist groups and cults and like extreme religions pull people in. You know, they find out all their insecurities, they kind of break them down as people that are lonely, and then they offer up community while they can also just lord all that information they have on you over your head. Obviously a little bit darker than this movie is going for, or so I thought, because at this point Rumi's given up and asks Celine to kill her? She really doesn't want to go full demon, which I get, but oh my god. No, Celine won't do it. She says she can fix everything, cover it up, go back to concealing things, convince Mira and Zoey that it was like some elaborate trap. But that's not how we have character growth, Celine. And Rumi finally realizes something. If the Han Moon can only be protected and upheld by burying your faults and your fears, maybe it's not worth upholding. Maybe it's time to make something better. At this point, everyone's been lured into that Saja Boy concert to essentially be offered up as a buffet for demons, which is when Rumi comes in to crash the party and get everyone on board with the new Han Moon that's built on honesty of the self and soul. I guess they were all built on soul, but like better soul this time. And thankfully the other girls are willing to help. They start working together, and the more demons they kill and the more they sing, the more the souls of the world start lighting up for them again. So they're working real hard to close off the underworld from Earth, but does that mean that all the other souls that were eaten up to this point are just gone forever in the underworld now? That sucks. But whatever, the fight intensifies. Guillemot himself shows up, now strong enough to actually be on Earth, which is when Juny sacrifices himself so Rumi can continue reviving the Han Moon, telling her that she shouldn't feel bad about what's happening. He has no regrets because she gave him his soul back.
And now, I give it to you.
And apparently his soul is worth more than everyone else's because it superpowers them up and they can just fully take on all the Saja Boys themselves.
No more!
until finally laying out Kima himself. And just like that, they've saved the day. The Han Moon's completely gold. They've shut off the demons to the underworld. Wow, guys, pretty intense. And that's a pretty nice ending. You know, the whole thing's about encouraging people not to be ashamed of who they are, to be their authentic selves, which I think is beautiful. I feel like maybe they should have also had a lesson somewhere in here about the dangers of idol worship, but that's okay. Some of that is just my thought because I'm working on a Lurker video right now. You guys should check out Lurker. I think it's out in the US on the 22nd and Canada on the 28th and other places. Check it out. But that's not what we're doing here. Maybe future installments, if we get them, will be like, hey, is there maybe an issue with the fact that we have this much power over people just as idols? But that's not what we're going for here. After this, we get a bit of a wind down. The girls can finally take an actual vacation. Rumi's finally able to go to a bathhouse with them, no longer ashamed of her marks, which have now just kind of turned into scars. But then we see Derpy the tiger being sad that Juny's gone. But hey, this movie has done so well that I'm pretty sure we're gonna get sequels. I know they're already talking about different like spin-off potentials to build out the world, so we could easily see a sequel where they get Juny's soul back. We might even get a little origin story for him. Can we get an origin story for Derpy? Can we see him as a little tiny kitten tiger? I'm so sorry, I really am here for one reason only. But that is K-Pop Demon Hunters, a very solid movie, and I totally understand why it's blown up the way that it has, and I think those sing-along screenings that they've been having are gonna be an absolute blast for anyone in attendance. I don't know if this had actually played in any theaters before it hit Netflix, but it's like pretty unheard of to have a movie that start on Netflix and then go into theaters, but like that's just the power of this movie, and I think that's very cool. Literally, even if it had been in theaters and then got a sing-along run, that's very impressive. But let me know what you guys thought of the movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I know so many of you asked me to cover it. I hope I did a decent job, but do you have any fun lore that I missed about this? What are your favorite songs in the movies? Are there fun little details I might have missed? But that is gonna do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks as always to my Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like on the video if you're into that kind of thing. All my other social medias are listed down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm mostly okay, and we'll catch you all later.